Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Ignite. We have a special treat tonight. We have two wonderful ladies speaking, but Carla Green is here to speak to us first on how to tame your stress, which obviously all of us can use that topic in some way, shape, or form, or as a good reminder if you have it all down pat, you think. So I'm so excited for this class. I just know Carla from being in Young Living over the years. She's always been a joy, her and her husband, Bill. She was just saying that she has 5 grandchildren. You have 2 children, right?
4 children.
Oh, 4 children. I'm sorry. Okay. I guess I know mostly 2 of them, I think. Okay. So 4 children, 5 grandchildren. And if you ever get to see them out, her and Bill are a pleasure to watch together as a married couple. They enjoy each other so much. They dance all the time. They look so young and youthful. I'm not sure if you're going to go over how old you are, but I hate to even say that in a call like this, but obviously you look exceptionally well with all the different things that you do for your health and wellness. And I just love that you've been able to teach that to your children. And then now your grandchildren are living the same life. So tonight, taming your stress monster, and please share more. Thank you.
Welcome, everybody. I'm glad to be here. Let me just get myself set up here, hit all the right buttons, and then we can get rolling. And for those of you who are curious, I am going to be 65 on my next birthday. So definitely taking good care of your health as you age has a lot of perks and benefits to you, to your life and everything. So tonight I want to talk to you about a topic that is pretty common for people to talk about, and a little bit of the history on this talk, because it's kind of a cool story, is I was asked to do this presentation in 2018 at our Canadian Young Living National Convention. And I started off with the usual, stress is bad, all the things that stress does to you that's bad, and how stress is so bad for you. And of course, I do a lot of research when I put together a new topic. And I literally had to rip up all my notes after I did a deep research dive, throw them out, and start completely from scratch with my presentation. So this is one of my favorite presentations because for me, it was new information on stress that, even though in the healthcare field, I learned a lot about stress. I had some big aha moments putting this together. And so my hope is that you will have some big aha moments as well. So a little bit about me. I am a physical therapist and a registered acupuncturist. I've been in clinical practice for 41 years, owned my own practice up until a year and a half ago when I semi-retired and sold the business. I am a pediatric specialist in traditional Chinese medicine, so I have treated children as young as 1 day and adults as old as 101 in my career. I'm also the founder of Second Chance Facial Rejuvenation, which is a program that we put together 19 years ago, and it's one of my secrets to looking younger, and it uses a lot of Young Living products as well. So stress, all of us have experienced it. Most of us don't have to have an explanation of what really is stress. Well, if you look at the dictionary, this is the definition. It's a physiological reaction to an undesired emotional or physical situation. That sounds pretty academic. I really like Dr. Kelly McGonigal's definition of stress, and she's the author of The Upside of Stress. She says stress is the feeling you get when something you care about is at stake. Now, I know a lot of us think, oh, I wish I never had any stress in my life. I wish I could live on a desert island and there'd be no stress at all in my life. But having a life of no stress probably means that there's nothing you really care about. And I don't think I want to have a life where I don't really care about anything. Now, when we look at our autonomic nervous system, there's 2 parts to it. We've got our sympathetic nervous system, that's our fight or flight reaction. And then we've got our parasympathetic, our feed, breed, rest. So the sympathetic is kind of like having your foot on the gas. And, it's like if that tiger jumps out, you've got to be ready to go and to run. You're not going to be worried about digesting your food or creating a baby or any of those kinds of things because you got to save your life. You got to get out of there. And what happens in our world is that we tend to be mostly stuck in the sympathetic side of our autonomic nervous system. And that can create all kinds of health challenges for us. Now, stress isn't all bad. If we have brief positive stress in our lives that elevates our heart rate a little bit, our stress hormones go up a little bit, but everything comes right back down. Just part of everyday life. There's tolerable stress where it's serious, but it's temporary, and you've got your support system around you. You've got your people, you've got your practitioners. If it's health related, you've got support. And then there's toxic stress. This is a really bad stress where there's a prolonged activation of stress. You don't have any support. You just feel like you're all by yourself and there's no way out. Now, a lot of us know, stress makes you give you butterflies in your stomach and maybe gives you a headache, but stress does so much more in the depths of our body. It narrows our arteries. It increases our blood glucose. It actually contributes to leaky gut. It's one of the key causes of leaky gut. It can result in hormonal imbalances, even breaks down the muscle protein in your muscles. So stress actually has far-reaching effects on the body, right from the brain to the muscles. If you don't like snakes, and you don't like scary music, and you don't like heights, you can probably have felt your sympathetic nervous system kick in just when that music started playing and you saw those images. That's your sympathetic nervous system jumping in and going, oh, I don't like this. I need to get out of here. Now, when you're in that sympathetic mode for a prolonged period of time, it can lead to chronic pain. It leads to excess weight gain, particularly around your abdomen. And it can lead to mood disorders like anxiety and depression. Now, most people love a beach. They love warm weather. They love the soft breeze of sort of the sun-kissed ocean breeze on their cheeks. And when they see a vision of a place that feels tranquil and they hear tranquil music, it's going to put you into that parasympathetic mode. I don't know about you, but I could just feel my shoulders release. I could sort of feel my breath go deeper into my body, just looking at that picture and hearing that beautiful music. Now, the sympathetic nervous system withdraws money from your health bank account. Whereas when you support and nurture your parasympathetic nervous system, it's like putting money into your health spending account. I'm going to teach you 3 stress taming techniques here this evening. The first one is external support, and that is using our wonderful essential oils. Now, how did I get started with essential oils? Well, somebody I really trusted and looked up to and was a mentor of mine recommended them. Dr. Carla DeMarco was one of my mentors through her books, because back in the year 1999, we did not have this wonderful internet. She looked at me when she heard my passion. I went up to her at the World Natural Medicine Conference after listening to her speak. She heard my passion for my desire to help people have healthier lives using natural methods. And she heard my passion about my pediatric practice with children. She looked at me and said, all the amazing things you've told me about your practice and the modalities you use, I get the same results using essential oils. And that just stopped me dead in my tracks. And I'm like, really? Because I'd never heard of them used that way. She said to me, but only use Young Living essential oils, because I've tried many other brands and they do not give the results that you're going to be looking for. So over the years, looking at Young Living standards, the way I describe to people, because people will come to me and go, well, I know, that Young Living's great, but I've got this other brand and it's organic and it's from the health food store and it's got all these pretty stickers and labels on it. And so I tell them the peppermint farmer story. You've got a peppermint farmer. He's really great. He's organic. He loves his plants. He plants organic seeds. He harvests at the right time. He distills it perfectly, and he has a perfect growing season. When he distills his peppermint and looks at it, it's got between 38 and 47% menthol. Every essential oil has a range where you're going to get consistent clinical results. And that's the range for menthol for peppermint. Now, that same farmer the next year, he still does everything perfectly right, but it's a horrible season. It's either really cold and wet, or it's too hot and dry, or the season's too short. And when he goes to distill his peppermint oil, it's only got 24% menthol. It's still a good oil. It's still organic, but it doesn't fit into those really strict parameters that Young Living requires. So this farmer will still sell his peppermint oil because it's still a good product, but Young Living will not sell that product because it doesn't fit into that effective range of consistent results. And that's what Dr. DeMarco is trying to relay to me. Of course, we've got Young Living seed to seal quality, where we control everything right from the seed through to the testing, through to the bottling, and getting it into your home. Now, as a practitioner, research evidence is really important because I am working with so many people. But even you buying your oils for your own family, you want to know their effectiveness because it's your hard-earned money that you're spending. So you want it to do what it's supposed to do. Now, for those of you who don't know, I am from Canada, and in Canada, we are allowed to make various health claims. We have natural health product registration for close to 100 Young Living products with Health Canada. So this is just a list of some of the different health claims that we can make in Canada. And you can see on that list is stress and relaxation. Now, when I first got introduced to essential oils, I'm like, oh, how can this actually do something? It's just oil in a bottle that you smell or rub on. Like, how could this actually make a difference? But looking at my acupuncture research, when I use an acupuncture needle or acupressure on the body, the messages go up to the pituitary hypothalamus axis, which is part of the central computer of your brain. And from there, the messages stream out to get the effect that you get from acupuncture. Well, I discovered that when you breathe in an essential oil, it goes through that olfactory nerve right up to the amygdala, which is the emotional center of our brain. And it also affects the pituitary hypothalamus axis. I was so excited. I'm thinking this is a way people can at home get that same effect or similar effect to acupuncture by stimulating that similar part of the brain. We wanted to see, what do essential oils do at the level of the brain? So this is a brain scan that I participated in, and this is actually a 25-year-old male, and the top of the brain scan, where you see that circled and white area, is before the essential oil was used. Now, in this case, it's showing that the brain went on vacation. That part of the brain should be more active, and it isn't in this young man. After breathing in lavender for just 2 or 3 minutes, just from the bottle, not even rubbing it on topically, up through the olfactory nerve into that pituitary hypothalamus axis. After that, 5 minutes later, a repeat brain scan. We can see that that portion of the brain is actually woken up, is back to doing the work that it should do. Now, in Health Canada claims we're allowed to say for lavender is that it is a nervine and calmative and enhances relaxation. The brain scan corroborates that claim because it shows that when that part of the brain is functioning, it gives you a state of relaxation and does not cause drowsiness. Now, you guys are extra special tonight. You get to look inside of my brain because this is the brain scan of my own personal brain. And you can see up in the upper right there, a big red dot in the middle. That shows hypervigilance. It is the area of the brain related to early childhood trauma. And that hypervigilance is that feeling of just always being on edge, always being on guard, which will raise your stress hormones in your body as well. After breathing in cedarwood, just like the previous example, we repeated the brain scan, and you can see that that section of the brain calmed right down. It's just now a light orange color. It also corroborates the Health Canada claim that we can make about cedarwood helping to enhance relaxation. This is bergamot. If you want just one oil that's going to really be the great support for your brain, bergamot is that oil. You can see this is a deep brain scan. This is the actual amygdala area, that central emotional center of our brain. Red is not a good color. You don't want to see red. It shows inflammation, too much activity. After breathing in bergamot and repeating that deep brain scan, you can see that quite a lot of that red has dissipated. And then we have the beautiful stress away blend of copaiba lime, cedarwood, vanilla, lavender, and ocotea. Again, Health Canada allows us to make the claim of enhancing relaxation. And I just call it a tropical beach in a bottle because it does help you to feel more calm and relaxed. Now, when you get your brain into a better pattern, well, it would be awesome if it just stayed there. But it's like a bicycle rut, a car rut in a road. Your brain wants to go back to the way it used to be. So consistent daily use, having a diffuser necklace or bracelet where you've got the oil on and around you. Epsom salt baths, putting the essential oils into the Epsom salts, get into your bath, and then dump in the mixture so that you get the enhancement of the scent through your nose as well. And of course, Young Living's got essential oil infused personal care products like shampoos and lotions and hand soaps and things where you're getting repetitive exposure to these positive essential oils. So for an external support, this is just 4 examples of oils that you can use that will really support your brain and help you to tolerate stress in a positive way. Now, we need to look at internal support as well, and that's where we come down to nutrition. Now, doing the research and looking at the research, there are certain nutrients that if we do not have enough of them, we do not have a healthy stress response. Now, those nutrients are magnesium, B complex, omega-3 fatty acids, coenzyme Q10, and probiotics. Now, in this picture, you see a little girl that looks very frightened of just a tiny little dog. So your first thought is, oh, that poor little girl probably had a bad experience when she was young or at some point with a dog, and therefore she is fearful. Now, that may be the case, but it may simply be the case that she has not sufficient nutrients in her body to produce the neurotransmitters that would give her a healthy stress response to something that is not scary. And so it could simply be this lack of nutrient support. Many of you may have heard me speak in the past, and I've talked about the 4 pillars of health or building your table of health. And the nutrients that I feel are core basic for most everybody are our wonderful Ningxia Red, our omega-3, our essential Symes 4, and our probiotics, our Life 9. They're a good foundational support system for your body. Now, why essential oil infused supplements? Well, they're very unique. You get the benefit of the essential oil plus the benefit of the nutrient. 2 + 2 tends to equal 10. Essential oils enhance the absorption of the nutrients into the body and helps your cells to take the garbage out as well. This is a great example of one of our supplements, multigreens. Without essential oils in them, just with the nutrients, there was 42% absorption in 24 hours. Then Gary Young added the essential oil combination of Melissa, rosemary, lemon, and lemongrass and retested the absorption. 86% absorption in 60 minutes. That's virtually double in an hour of what it was in 24 hours without the oils. In my clinical practice, I've seen over and over again that when people use Young Living supplements, they get results a lot sooner and they feel the difference. So Ningxia is a great supplement to help support a healthy stress response. It's whole food. You only need about 2 ounces a day, but you can certainly use more. It's flash pasteurized, so it still has active enzymes, and it doesn't have any added sugar. So it's safe for people watching for blood sugar issues. Now, when we look at the actual dried wolfberry, and this is from the book, The Discovery of the Ultimate Superfood, it's the highest whole food source of vitamin B1. And in the University of Wales, they did a study of using B1 to help relieve depression and elevate mood. And 180 grams of dried wolfberry equals the same amount of B1 that was used in that university study. You could also see when you look down the recommended daily allowance side that the wolfberry is kind of like a multivitamin berry, because when you think of oranges, you think of vitamin C. When you think of bananas, you think of potassium. But when I think of the wolfberry, I think, oh, it's got such a wide range of nutrients in good high levels for the body. One of our diamonds in our team did a 30-day challenge with her team, and they had 178 participants. They did a self-assessment questionnaire before and after, looking at energy, cravings, mood, body image, physical mobility, skin appearance, immune function, mental acuity, and digestion. And you can see that in every category, the red line of the after is higher. 98% said they would use it every day, and 95% said they would recommend it to other people. So 2 or 4 ounces a day or more at any time of the day is a great way to support your body's stress response. When we look at the research, we see that if you have low levels of B6 and iron, you are much more prone to having a panic attack and hyperventilation attack. So again, this is showing that nutrient correlation to our emotional health. When we look at our Super B, it's got all 8 of our essential energy boosting B vitamins. But really important is it uses natural B12, methylcobalamin, not cyanocobalamin, which is synthetic. Big difference in the way our body uses it and how you feel. It also uses the natural B9 folate and not the synthetic folic acid. Once again, big difference. Included are chelated minerals that support the absorption, nutmeg essential oil, which we know helps to support our adrenal health. And this has actually been formulated together with Dr. Dan Purser and Gary Young together. And it's been formulated for people who have MTHFR positive gene mutations. So 2 per day, usually with a meal. I like to have it early in the day, breakfast or lunch, because it tends to bump up your energy. Unless you want energy right before bed, then you can choose to take it at a different time. Winky, winky. Alrighty, Omega Gize 3 is our pure unconcentrated fish oil. It's also got vitamin D3, vitamin E, CoQ10. These are the nutrients that we need for a healthy stress response. It's also got German chamomile, clove, and spearmint. Doses 2 twice a day with your meals. The vitamin D, we need vitamin D for over 3,000 of our genes to actually function properly. And coenzyme Q10 is needed for optimal cell function, for our cardiovascular health, and that level naturally declines as we age, which is partially why we tend to not have as much energy. Life 9 is our probiotic. It's got 9 clinically proven strains, including a few of the super strains, kind of like special forces armies in our body. The minimum dose is 1 a day, and I like people to take it in the evening sometime before bed so their stomachs are not quite so full, so that the probiotics have a good chance to do their work. We all know that there is a huge connection between our gut health and the microbiome of our gut and our brain health. In fact, I believe 80% of serotonin, which is our feel-good neurotransmitter, is actually produced in our gut. So we need to look after our guts. If you have too many harmful bacteria in your gut, not enough good bacteria, well, all kinds of things go wrong. You get sick easier, your tummy doesn't digest very well, your energy's poor, you may have issues with skin, mood disorders, not able to take the garbage out in your body very well. This is a testimonial that's very near and dear to my heart. In January of 2018, so 4.5 years ago now, I did a presentation on these core nutrients for your body. And there was a wonderful family there, a husband and wife and their children. And she messaged me a short time after the presentation, about a month after, saying that when they added these core nutrients into their daily routine, their 13-year-old daughter had been off school since November because of emotional challenges. And after using the supplements consistently, she was able to go back to school and fully endorsed by her doctor. And I checked in with them again in July of that year, and still taking the supplements and still functioning really, really well. A great example of how nutrient support is really important for our stress response and our emotional health. So these are 4 supplements. In a perfect world, it'd be great if you could take them all. But if you're struggling with figuring out financially how to do this, look at each of the supplements. I really believe in people's internal intuition to their bodies, and just pick the one that resonates, that jumps out at you first, and start with that one. And then ease into the other ones as you're able to. When you're adding in a lot of supplements, I like you to leave at least 4 days or so between each one, adding in a new one. Most supplements, you feel fantastic, but we're all unique. So maybe there's one of these that doesn't quite work with your body. If you put them in over time, you'll be able to identify which one maybe doesn't quite agree with you, or which is the one that was like, oh my goodness, this just worked so good for me. In my clinical practice, I'm always looking for the root cause of the challenges that people are facing. I practice what's called functional medicine, which is where we look deeper beyond the symptoms. What is triggering those symptoms? We get to that root cause and get rid of those triggers, then the symptoms will go away. Now, what is stressing most people? This says Canadians, but I think right now it's probably worldwide. And it's usually money and work related to financial health. So in this example, 65% of Canadians were really stressed out about their monies and their job. Now, one of the things that I've been guilty of through a lot of my Young Living career is just really quickly reaching for the amazing products we have. Like, someone's got headaches. Oh, I've got this product. I've got Deep Relief. I've got Peppermint. I've got M-Grain. And drawing their attention to the things that we know can help with those symptoms. When you look at this graphic, we see that financial stress amplifies the symptoms that people have. So for example, with migraines, people with low financial stress, only about 15% of them have migraines and headaches. But if you have high financial stress, that triples. Look at severe depression, 4% when people don't have a lot of financial stress. That goes up 5-6 times with high financial stress. Stomach ulcers, that goes up 3 times because of financial stress. I used to talk to people all the time about their physical health, their emotional health, and their mental health. I never ever talked to them about their financial health. I don't know why, but it seems like it's kind of a taboo subject. And I don't know why it is. When we look at relationships, 41% of people who got divorced said that it was directly connected to the financial stress that they had in their lives. I started to realize, you know what? If people can get their financial health more robust, it trickles down. You're not needing to use products for headaches because your headaches have disappeared or decreased because that core cause, that financial stress, is gone. If you have good financial health, you can afford to eat organic food. You can afford to see practitioners that maybe are not just traditional medically trained, and to expand on the services that you can reach out for your family. Now, when we look at research, it shows that a lot of people are having second jobs. They're not just working a single job. Over 40% reported that they worked more than 50 hours a week, and a high percentage of people have a second job. There's all kinds of traditional types of second jobs. You could go and waitress, you could maybe babysit kids, you could maybe walk someone's dogs or plan parties or rent out extra space in your home. The last couple of years, with the way the world has kind of tilted on its axis a little bit, a lot of those traditional second jobs weren't even available to people anymore. Now, there's a lot of current trends in the marketplace. People are really focused on health and wellness products more than they've ever been in the world. People want to be able to order online and get it delivered to their home. They're less keen to go out to a mall or to a busy public place. And people more than ever are looking for the ability to earn income from home. Cost of living is going up. People are looking for ways to augment their income. Now, there is a profession that fits the current trends, but it's often overlooked or just simply misunderstood. And that is network marketing. It is a very credible profession. Just looking at these statistics, you can see it's a $35.2 billion worth of sales through the network marketing model in the US alone. And you can see that it is a presence that is there around the globe. Now, at this point, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't even want to hear about this. There's a lot of myths and misunderstanding around network marketing. And if that's the way you're feeling right now, trust me, I get it. The first 7 years that I was with Young Living, I was like, I do not want to know anything about how to earn income and how to share with other people. My mind was very closed. I am here to give you some things to think about so that you can have an open mind and an open heart and see if this might actually be a fit. Now, when you're looking at ways to be successful in network marketing, there's a couple of tips that will improve your success. One is look for a company that's been around for more than 10 years, that has a track record and is a very ethical company. Look for a company that you would use the product or the service even if you weren't making money at all. You just love them so much, you want them for your own health and wellness or your own family. You need to have a fair compensation plan. In network marketing, your income is based on your effort. Doesn't matter what company you're with, but there are companies that their compensation plans are much more attractive, I would say. Now, network marketing is not for most people, but it might resonate with you. I can't imagine being an accountant. That to me sounds like the worst career on the planet because I do not like doing those kinds of things. But that doesn't mean I have to do it. I know it's there and it is an option, but it isn't something that I want to do. Now, for 7 years, I was like, I don't want to know anything about this. And we actually accidentally won an incentive cruise, earned an incentive cruise with Young Living because I was just organically sharing because I love the product so much and I wanted people to have this. So I've been 22 years as a happy customer, just using the product, and 15 years as a successful business member. You can go to my website, carla-green.com, and my little 2-minute story will tell you a little bit more about my journey. And it's a pretty cool story, so I encourage you to take a look. Now, whenever we talk about the income, we need to talk about the income disclosure statement. The numbers here are really, really little, so just go to youngliving.com/IDS. And if you're curious and want to learn more, or talk to the person that introduced you to Young Living, and they will be able to give you more information on this part of it. You can see that since Young Living started back in 1994, we've had a pretty upward curve. Sometimes it goes down a little. That's just business. That's just life. Every business has ups and downs, and we can see through 20 and 21 that people were really keen on our products. 2022 has got a little bit of a dip again, but it's just going to go up again, just like in 2019 to 2020, we had a little bit of a dip. One thing I love about Young Living, it is a family-owned company, and they put products over purpose. And Gary and Mary put it together. And of course, their sons, who look a lot older than this now, are walking in their footsteps and carrying on the company traditions. You don't have to go far to find people who rave about Young Living, right from athletes like James Lawrence, the Iron Cowboy, who used Young Living products to support his amazing feat of having a world record holder of full and half marathon races. Jack Canfield, author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. I have all those books on my shelf. He was looking for a way to earn supplemental income, and he just had an open mind and looked at all the options and chose Young Living. And he's a platinum member with us. So just in summary, we can support our body using external essential oils. We can support our body internally using nutrients and making sure those core basic nutrients that support our stress response are in abundant supply. And we can look at the root cause, have an open mind, take a look. There are all kinds of ways to help your income, and maybe network marketing is a fit for you. Maybe sharing Young Living is something that would make you as passionate as I am about it. Did you know that stress can make you stronger? Most people, again, see stress as a very negative thing. Fight or flight reaction. We're always like, oh, this is such a nasty thing because that flight reaction is what destroys our body and causes all that damage. Well, if we didn't have that fight or flight reaction, we wouldn't have made it this far as a human race. It's actually designed to keep us safe, help us to meet the demands we face every day. It's just our worlds are just so much different than they were 100 years ago that we kind of get stuck in that fight or flight reaction. Now, there is an amazing research study done, and this was my aha moment. This was when I ripped up my original presentation and started all over. And that was that perception modulates our stress response. If you perceive stress as being bad and it's doing all this damage to your body and it's something you don't want in your life, your blood vessels constrict, your blood flow decreases, your high blood pressure goes up, your gut gets more leaky, all those negative things I showed you at the beginning actually happen. But if you look at stress as being good, and this is a positive thing, and all the positive things that stress can do to your body and to your life, then your blood vessels don't constrict. And all those bad things that happen when we have a negative perception of stress, they simply didn't happen. You've heard of post-traumatic stress. What about post-traumatic growth? There are positive effects. When we go into a stress situation, whether it's a health challenge or a job challenge or a relationship challenge, it is triggering us to find ways to better ourselves, to find support in the people around us, to ask for help, to reach out to our communities. And when we do take those positive steps, we come out the other side with post-traumatic growth. We're smarter, we're wiser. This is a book I highly recommend that you invest in, whether Audible is my favorite for this book. This book was in every one of my kids' stockings at Christmas on 2018 after I did this presentation because I just loved it. Dr. Kelly McGonigal shows us stress enhances our performance. It enhances our health. It enhances our vitality. It triggers us to want to learn and to grow. Because humans are strange. Unless we're pushed by something uncomfortable, we just coast. And when you coast, you're not learning and growing. A great personal example of stress was in 2003 in our clinic. We had a contract for providing physiotherapy services to our community that was pulled with only 28 days notice. That was our entire income because Bill and I ran the clinic together. We had 4 kids at home under the age of 17. And oh my goodness, the first couple days, I basically just wanted to hide under the bed. And then I thought, what can we do to generate more income? And I knew that in the beauty industry, that people even that are shy on income will do things to make themselves feel better and look better. And so I put together the protocol Second Chance Facial Rejuvenation. I did it on my own face and my husband's face and said, let's see if it works. You can tell from the pictures here that it does work. And I am 19 years older than that. And I think I've slowed that aging process down. This process would have never, ever existed if my life was just ticking along and that massive crisis hadn't have hit. So I urge you, we don't want to avoid stress. We want to recognize it. We want to appreciate it and respect it. We want to support our stress response with our oils and our nutrients and our positive attitude. we embrace stress as being a positive force in our life, it actually adds value, adds money to our health bank account in our bodies. I hope you had a few aha moments in that. I invite you to go to my website. I have a blog post there with guided meditations that will help you manage stress. I have lots of recorded webinars that are similar to this one. And it's a labor of love for me, my website, where I am pouring in my 40-some years of knowledge in the healthcare field so that you can benefit from it at your leisure.
Carla, thank you so much. And what's the name of the website, please?
It's www.carla-green.com.
Okay, let's get this and let's see if there's any questions here. Okay, sometimes I have slow internet. You know, one thing why I'm trying to get this to work here is I'm sure, oh, you have it right there. I'm so sorry. Next slide. One thing is totally amazing is when you're talking about magnesium, and of course we have MegaCal, which I love and use. You know, if I was sitting here and or if Bill was behind you and was clicking your pen or clicking his pen the whole time, like, would you be annoyed with that? You know, would you still be able to talk and concentrate and focus? Or would you say, will you please stop clicking this pen, right? So I found I was in my training back in the day is my girlfriend was sitting right next to me and we were like in this naturopath school thing. And the lady behind us kept clicking her pen and clicking the pen. And he just started going over this. He said, if you get annoyed with noises, sounds, and even textures bother you, he said, you really got to look at your magnesium level because you could be very low, and adjusting that, of course, will help you with that. The second part of that, which you're talking about the magnesium with the little girl, for example, with the dog, is if you don't have enough magnesium, obviously you get a little bit more skittish. I get skittish or scared more, or like someone will startle me, you know, and if the noises are bothering me like really bad, or if I'm starting to get really jumpy, then I just know I have to up my magnesium, which of course I try to maintain, but I don't always if I'm gone or this or that or whatever, or a certain season, you just don't do everything you should do, you know? And
Yes.
so it's been very interesting just to learn all the different basic minerals in the body, the vitamins and minerals that we need to support ourselves. There's a young man I know that, well, actually he's not young, but he takes 8 omega G's a day, and that helps him cognitively stay in the right mindset without, I'm sure you can say this in Canada, but I don't know if we can say it here in the US, without having the blues. And if he doesn't consistently take that, then he is down like big time. And it takes about a good 4 days to get him back up. So it's just amazing what can really happen with just our vital nutrients. Okay, let's see what questions we have for you. Let's see. Everyone just loves this presentation. So everyone
Awesome.
says you look better every time that they see you. Deb said that. And obviously you do look fantastic just in general, but especially for being 65. So that is just a blessing. The source of magnesium, you know, Young Living has MegaCal. Carla, is that what you?
Yeah, MegaCal is great. You know, here's a good little tip. If you go into your virtual office and under the search bar in your shop category and you type in magnesium, it should load all the products that have magnesium as an ingredient. And then you can filter through and see which one resonates with you the most. But I learned that tip not that terribly long ago. And I went, why haven't I known this for so long? Because it's really a great way to see which, because we have a lot of different products and sometimes there's magnesium scattered through various ones. But obviously MegaCal, if you're going for, you know, a good solid magnesium supplement, MegaCal is definitely the first to mind.
Yeah, even my sons are like 6, well, the one is like 6'3", but when they were going through their growth spurts, like in one summer, like, their veins are all stretched out, everything hurts, and, I started giving him Mega Cal, and it was like amazing what would happen, just like, very quickly to help them through that transition in their body. Someone asked if you have a suggestion for a Megagize because of if someone can't use a Megagize because of fish allergy. Do you have any other thoughts or suggestions?
Absolutely, MindWise. Young Living's MindWise is our plant-based omega-3. The Sanchi nut in it has got good levels of omega-3 in it. So that's my go-to if people can't manage Omega-Gize is a MindWise.
Mhm. And have you had the opportunity, do you guys have it there for olive essence as well? How do you like that?
Yeah, it's a great one too. Olive Essentials just became a Canadian registered product this month, but we were buying it and before that as well. So,
well, congratulations on getting that. One thing for everyone who's listening, folks in the US, we have access to what, like 700 products. But even though Canada is very close here, they're not allowed some of the same products we have, especially like you don't have Thyromin or Endogize, that kind of stuff, correct?
we did recently get Thyromin, but things like Femigen and PD8020, none of that is allowed across the border. So those are ones that lucky US people get to use.
And I mean, you would love to use those if you had the opportunity or didn't have to drive somewhere to get it, right?
Yeah, exactly. That was usually things like that were in our suitcase when we went to the US for convention because we're allowed to bring it back for personal use, but Young Living can't ship it out of the US.
Yeah. Well, I hope that changes for you guys soon and for all the other countries, because obviously we have so many fantastic products that can support your body in many different ways. And I'm glad you have the ones that you can have. But it's a true testament to you not only staying healthy, but then also even growing a business with not having as many things as we do, for example. Okay, my husband just went through knee replacement and he was told to stop all his supplements. Do you suggest he starts up again? I'd say yes.
Okay, so basically before someone goes for surgery, the doctor that you're dealing with will tell you to stop usually all supplements within a certain time frame, and that varies depending on the doctor. And that is simply a precaution for because some supplements can give a bit of an anticoagulant effect, which is not what you want when you're in surgery. But most doctors, again, check with your doctor. Once you're out of surgery and that part is behind you, you can usually start back on your regular supplements again because it's just during the actual surgery that they're concerned. Once again, check with your practitioner on that, but it's usually precautionary prior to surgery.
Someone asked, when you first start MindWise, how much do you think someone should take in the beginning?
You know your own body. The label that Young Living has with the recommended dosage is usually what I suggest people start with. And then, if you know your body, I have patients that like right off the get-go, they always start with a quarter or a half dose because they just know that their body responds differently, uniquely. If you happen to be one of those people, then obviously, listen to your history with your body and start lower. Starting low and going slow is always the mantra, whether it's topical oils or supplements, any of those things. It's always good to start at the lowest dose and then just work your way up. As a great example of that is sulfurzyme. I teach very heavily. Sulfurzyme is dose dependent. So if you just do 2 capsules twice a day, which is what the bottle says, I had a patient with arthritis in her hands. She was in her mid-50s. Some mornings she had trouble buttoning. And I was like, oh, sulfurzyme, sulfurzyme. So she did a whole 300 capsule bottle and said, Carla, I noticed zero, nothing. Well, then I read the book, The Miracle of MSM, written by Stanley Jacobs and I can't remember the other fellow, but the 2 doctors that discovered the MSM molecule. And they, in their book, described that it was very dose dependent. And so this lady came back and I said, you know what? I've learned something new. Would you be willing to try it again and ramp your dose? And so I say start 2 twice a day, next day do 3 twice a day, next day do 4 twice a day until you hit your sweet spot, which is easy if you've got pain, if that's your purpose. She came back to me a couple weeks later and said, Carla, if I take 5 twice a day, I don't even know I have arthritis. I don't have stiff knees. I don't have a stiff back. I feel fantastic. So people have to figure out there are going to be recommended doses, and do your own research. Opposite of that, I had a patient that I got her started on sulfurzyme. She's like, my mother's got like XYZ and can't even work a full day because of her diagnosis. Would she be okay taking sulfurzyme? And it's one of the safest supplements you could take. And so I said, absolutely, start low and go slow. She took 1 capsule a day and was able to work a full day, like had a massive shift in her health and wellness, a massive shift in her energy. And yet she was only taking 1 a day. So there's a good example of the ranges. We are biologically unique human beings, and we need to listen to our bodies, and we need to work with these supplements. Like you had that fellow that took 8 omega G's a day. That was his sweet spot. That's perfect for him. Might not be perfect for the next person. But a lot of the supplements are very safe. And again, work with the people that you have in your inner circle of support as to guiding you to those things.
One thing, because you just mentioned the website, is it okay if I share the screen real quick?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, let me see here. And we have a question, the young lady with her husband. Carla, do you guys have Master Formula in Canada?
Yes, it is. It is one of the very, very best comprehensive supplements. And Dr. Dan Purser was also part of the formulation for this. It is really a great one and done if you want a really good one to go to. I mean, I always love our Ninja, but Master Formula is head and shoulders above most multi-nutrient formulas that you could buy.
Great. So she was just asking about her husband, and since the knee surgery, and maybe if she's at work and doesn't have time, like this is like an easy supplement that I have available for my husband and my son, because all I get is open the package, right? And they don't want to, whatever, all the other stuff, they're not as invested in that part. They rather have a quick package. One thing
some people like pills and some people don't want to drink something, right? So it's also, you got to cater to what people gravitate towards. And I've heard Dr. Purser say that, this supplement, Master Formula, is so amazing that if you had to, just for finances, take 1 every second day, that would be better than not taking it at all. And so, because it is so comprehensive, it's such a well-rounded supplement that it's really one that is, one of our rock stars of many.
Perfect. So you guys, like Carla was just saying, if you go up here to the search and type in magnesium or anything else, it's going to bring up all the things in that area. And then it may say, there's more. They have to click on if there's more for that category. But one thing I just wanted to show you right here, because Young Living has done a fantastic job getting us some information that we are allowed to say. We can't say everything the Canadians can say, because they can. I love to teach over in Canada, because I'm like I'm in Canada right now, but anyhow, saying all these things that you guys get to say. But it will tell you about the features section, ingredients. Sometimes it may say read more, but this is the part I really want to show you, that from now on start really going down and looking into your products. Because they're adding these as they can. So there's a science and research and a more information. So the more information says 33 less known young living. There's 31. I should have looked at this before I did this, but I did not. Okay, so it's sending you to a link to Young Living's blog that tells you more information. Okay, and so now when we go to discover and research, these are clinical things that we're allowed to say, and you can give these links to other people as well. So if there's a clinical study from PubMed or Science Direct or the online library of clinical research, then they have it here now, which this is just sort of brand new, so you just may not know about it yet. But this is just such a great avenue for when we're looking at our products. The website now says a lot of information of what we're allowed to say. And there's quite a bit that really you can say on there. Okay, thank you, Carla, so much. Do you have anything else you'd like to add? We appreciate you so much.
Well, start somewhere, baby steps. Like if all you can do is start with learning about the positive attitude towards stress, and that takes training, that takes you consciously catching yourself going, this is bad, and reframing it. Start wherever you can start. And it's amazing the baby steps that you can have. One of my presentations, I love when people email me afterwards and give me feedback on what they implemented and how it affected their lives. So I had my email address up there. You're welcome to do that with me. But I had one lady that came to me and said, all I could manage was the Epsom salt baths with the essential oils in it because I could not afford anything else. And just that one piece that she did consistently and that fit into her budget, she had a massive health shift, a massive both emotional, and was able to release some weight. Again, our bodies are so matrixed, we're so interconnected. If you bring the stress part down, then suddenly maybe that weight you need to release that just isn't shifting could possibly shift really quickly because all these pieces work together. So I just encourage you to just pick one thing and take action and integrate whatever you can afford. But changing your attitude to be more positive is free for everybody.
That's beautiful. That's the last line. That's beautiful. Positive attitude is free. Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We'll get this recording out for everyone. It'll be on Grow. And of course, if you got it from a different group, then you'll be able to get it back from there as well. And we'll have it out as soon as possible, but definitely by Friday. And Carla, thank you so much again, and looking forward to seeing you again in the US next time you guys can get here.
Yes, that's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
Thank you for everybody who came live, and thank you for all those who watched the replay. And I do love feedback. And if you can think of any way I can make things better, I'm open to that as well.
I can't imagine, but thank you.